fellow artists. This video, we're going to be experimenting with this Daniel Smith Watercolor Ground in the titanium white. What the heck do we do with this stuff anyway? Well, I thought I would try it out on a Mother's Day gift that I'm currently in the process of making. And I thought I could do a little design on the top. Maybe I'll do some decoupage on here. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm going to take you along on this experiment. And then the all-time favorite question is, what about on canvas? How will we be able to paint watercolor on canvas using the Daniel Smith Ground? So let's get to it. Okay, so here we are up close, the little bottle that I have. And the directions say that it's an excellent ground for watercolor on all surfaces. Absorbent surfaces, canvas, paper, plaster, cardboard, and also non-absorbent surfaces such as glass, plastic, or metal. For best results, you'll need to be abraded before application to the ground. Thick, brushable, and heavy pigment. Allow 24 to 72 hours to cure before applying. Watercolor or acrylic can be thinned to 10% with water. Wash brushes immediately after. So again, the pigment is the titanium white. All right, and it says 100% pure acrylic emulsion. Okay, so first up, I am going to apply it to the top of my lid here, and I'm going to take my cloth and make sure it is 100% dry and clean. I do have a little cup of water here to the side. It may look like my normal watercolor jar, but this one is strictly for acrylics and stuff. Alright, so I'm just gonna shake it up. Let's see how this, it's quite thick actually. It's thicker than I thought it would be. I'll just use the lid to set that on top of. Alright, so I think what the best thing for me to do, I'm actually using an old makeup brush that I never really found myself using, so I've repurposed it for these types of projects. And so I'm just kind of dab it on there, and then we'll smooth it out. Okay. You know, I don't know if we'll need more than one coat, but I'm thinking we're probably going to leave that. And here I go messing with it. It's probably going to need a second coat because I can see some of that underneath. So we're going to let that dry while we work on our canvas. It actually, you know, even though it's a pretty small thing, it seems like it will probably go pretty quick. I'm making a mess here, but hey, I like it. I like making a mess. Alright, so these canvases, y'all, I think I got these off of Amazon. I know it's been over a year ago because I've been on such a watercolor kick that I haven't really done any oil or acrylics over the past year. But this is going to inspire me because I love doing watercolor, and I would like to do this for it. Let me find. Well, I would like to do this for a personal keepsake of mine because I do like having some art that I keep for myself. It's actually not a bad canvas at all. I think this is the first time I've ever tried these from Artist Canvas, 100% cotton. So yeah, it may do very well. Acrylic gesso. So it's already been primed with gesso, but that's okay. There we go. And I'm thinking for the canvas, it should probably only take one coat for this canvas. But we'll see. I don't know if I'll have much more. I think it could also be a really nice way to add some texture into your watercolors as well. And I do like texture. I like doing some mixed media stuff too. I don't see why there's any reason why you couldn't use gesso on it. It's not gesso. Gouache. Gouache. I love me some gouache too sometimes. Okay, I'm just going to smooth that out. Speed this up. Maybe. It goes on really smooth. Oh, it does. It goes on really smooth. Okay. And I like the reason I like this makeup brush because the lines get real fine. Okay, we're gonna let that dry and the lid dry for 24 hours. So let's go ahead and go in with the painter's tape. And I am going to make me, and I want to preserve that, and I want to make me a square yay big, because I want the rest of the glass clear because I'm going to be filling it with some yummies candies. So this is for my mama for Mother's Day. So I'm just gonna be making me a square, and then we're gonna put on our first coat. But I don't think I like that. I'm gonna go through here and make sure the tape is down good right in there. Alright, one more piece ought to do us. Okay, to say it's gonna does not have to be perfect, I know. Looks pretty good. So let's see how that. I'm just gonna dab it on first evenly and then smooth it out. That seems more logical, almost like a stencil. Actually, this goes on glass really nice. Okay, I like that. Ooh, yeah, and I like a little bit. I like the brush strokes, but if you don't like brush strokes, you could use like a foam brush or something. You could probably even use a really nice sponge. I think I'm going to go ahead and go over this lid again because we've got to let it dry for 24, y'all. I got things to be doing. Oh, trust me, I will multitask. I will and I shall multitask. Alright. Oh, yeah, second coat definitely on this lid. So metal, it will cover it. It seems like so far, but Oh, how did that hair get in there? That never fails. Okay, no, I'm not going to mess it up over a hair because it's just not. Okay. It is a little bit more difficult on metal. Kid you not. Okay. Maybe I'm just being too perfectionist. Now, we'll see you in 24 after this dries. Okay, here we are back the next day, and the ground has dried, and it does feel a little bit more, I wouldn't say gritty, textured. So we'll have to see. Is that going to act like watercolor paper? Here my jar is dry, the lid is dry. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape because I do not know how long. I don't know how that will look underneath, but it looks like we can clean this up a little bit around the edges, I hope. Even if the edges aren't perfect, it might just give it that. I think we can clean that up around the edges, so. Because I just want to have a little square there with a little picture. Okay, yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sketch out my lemons on my jar and lid, and then we will get to painting and test this out. Mention that this was part of a 9-piece set. The Daniel Smith Essential Watercolor Mixing Set, which I've done a previous video on. I will be linking that in the description as well as at the end of this video. Okay, so let's get our paints going here. And this is the little travel palette that I've been testing out and working with, and I think it's going to do just fine for what we're going to be doing today. Painting some little lemons on here. I'm going to go ahead and start with the lightest colors. And see how this does. Okay. It's actually soaking in. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to see how it moves. Well, I'll tell you what, without the ground on here, there's no way I'd be painting on metal and it sticks. So, I'm rather impressed with it, to be honest. You know, I was looking at other colors because they have not just the white, but they actually have a clear as well. Which I was watching some YouTube videos on people using it or testing it out, even in coloring books, or like could build up your art journaling pages maybe with it. I mean, the clear gesso would be perfect for, let that dry before I put another coat of. The clear gesso would be a good one because if you're doing a coloring book, or say you've already drawn something out, then you'll still be able to see the lines under it, which looked quite interesting. But the color I really think I'm gonna get and try, and if I do, I definitely will do a review and a project with it, but is the Iridescent Gold. Oh yeah, I was going to lift off some whatnot. Here, let me try on this lid. And that's not completely dry, but let's see. Can I lift some of that off of there? Well, I'm too nervous to do too much, but because obviously it is not going to be just like paper, I wouldn't think, but okay. Hey, that actually worked pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to come in here with a little bit of a darker pigment here. Oh, I'm getting some flow in there. Wow. I am quite impressed, to be honest. This is quite nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, let's see. I don't have any white on this. Maybe I just won't use white. Nah. Yeah, I don't know. Why do I feel like I need white? That's getting a little runny in there. My other palette where I have some white. Well, let's see how that dries. I'm not looking for perfection. That one I didn't do any leaves on, but this one I am. That's part of the thing about the Viridian. It mixes really nice greens, but you almost always have to mix it because I don't think it's a very natural looking pigment, but it's like the manganese. The manganese is like that too. It's not, to me, in my opinion, not the most natural pigment, but really good to mix. If you hear tapping, that is my dog walking around the floor. She's very, very old and she's got dementia pretty bad, so she just walks around if I'm in here. I've had her for 14 of her 15 years, and all right, now I think I will come in with a little bit of a darker green, a teal that I'm just going to drop in here in my shadows. I cannot get over how much it is. Like the watercolors are acting really nice on it. Like, you guys, I am really, Daniel Smith, well done. I've not ever tried any other ground mediums, but I don't even think this white's gonna show up. But for my very first impressions of using it, I really like it. Okay, now I've got my easel and it is at a slight tilt because I want my sky to come on down. Okay, so I did want to show you how my candy jar turned out. I think it turned out really cute, you guys. The reason why I think it worked better on the jar versus the canvas was because, first of all, I only put one coat on this canvas. And I got it really wet, like I would normally paint. That's how I paint. I normally go in with some wet and work with thinner layers. I do think that if I just let this rest and come back to it tomorrow, maybe I'll go in with some gouache and I'll be able to salvage it. But no, not happy with it on the canvas. I suggest you use multiple layers of the ground if you really want to use canvas. But yeah, work like a charm on the jar and the metal. So yeah, there you go. Daniel Smith, Watercolor Ground.